Hey guys, it's Mel, and I am getting into my own segments here. Billy has been doing such a great job with his Brewing with Billy, and I thought today would be a great day. It's Wednesday, hump day, and it would be a great time for Wednesday wind down. So, Wednesdays, I'm going to do a quick 15-minute, 20-minute little podcast here for Why Not Yell with Mel. I have to show him up. I even got my little graphics going on here that he usually does and runs the behind the scenes. I'm not going to try to do anything fancy the first time, but I had done a lot with a business conference, the Grant Cardone and the 10X Challenge this week. They have been talking a lot about not spending money on stuff that you don't need. And at the same time, obviously buying stuff that we don't need. I thought maybe selling things that we don't need as well would be a great topic. And Facebook Marketplace has been a great spot that I have been buying and selling. And like I said, right now, definitely curbing my spending a little bit. There's a lot of things that we're talking about as far as investing and, I'm paying off debts and things that I'd rather even, $5 here, $10 here, it adds up. So, a little bit happened last week. We'll probably talk about it in the podcast tomorrow, but I had a little bit of flooding when we had that rain, and I went down into my basement and there was water. Luckily, it wasn't that bad, but I had to put my rain boots on. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was down there moving tubs and shelves around that luckily I had because I was prepared and, kept everything safe. But there was one box that got damaged, but I was down there super early in the morning and oh, hey, Billy. Hey, what's up? I thought I would start today. I've been talking all the talk about this. So thanks for watching me, Billy, and you'll have to critique me and let me know. But obviously he also said, love talking about investing. Obviously I'm learning a lot. That is his forte. But he'll love to know that I am doing a lot more saving and not spending. So, but as far as the basement goes, I went down there, and while I was moving some things around, and like I said, I had things in tubs and only one box, very little got damaged. I was prepared. But I started noticing all of the junk and the crap and the stuff that I did have that I didn't need, but I organized the entire basement because I moved some stuff around, and I also was able to go through everything. I decided last weekend, I didn't really have plans, and some of my friends were away, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go through all of this and really start to get rid of some of it. So if you are friends with me on Facebook, or you just are in Facebook Marketplace and you're in the Hershey area, you would have seen that I started posting a ton of stuff. And I have to tell you, I have been selling like insane. And it's $5 here, $20 here, and it adds up. I mean, I do cash or Venmo or PayPal, go through how I do it, but I've had a lot of success over the years, and a lot of people are hesitant, and I thought maybe we could talk about it. If anybody is watching other than Billy, there's a couple people, but if you have experience with Facebook Marketplace, my mom just got into it. And I have sold a lot of stuff. I've moved 5 times in the last, 6 years. It's kind of embarrassing, but each time that I do move, I try to get rid of stuff. And if you're doing yard sales, that's great. But I've even did Facebook Marketplace, and I've posted them also to yard sale groups on Facebook while I'm doing the yard sale. So if somebody is actually saying, hey, I want this, I'll commit, I take it even just off of the yard sale that I'm doing in person. But I've had some really great success. I've sold a lot of stuff, especially when I've moved. I've made hundreds and hundreds of dollars on things. And I've even purchased some really great things. Many people know me that Facebook Marketplace was one of my favorite stores, in addition to TJ Maxx and Marshalls. But Facebook Marketplace has been the place that I have actually bought many, many things for my home. And I started it when I had my first apartment after my divorce. I needed stuff cheap. I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and I really didn't have any money actually at all to spend on that, but I wanted to make my apartment in my first place on my own ever at 30 1 years old, cozy in a home. And I've since moved, had a breakup, have my own place here, and it's a 3-bedroom house with an office that I needed to outfit as well. How many years later? So Facebook Marketplace has been a great spot that I've gotten some really great things cheap. People are looking to sell things. So I'll talk a little bit about buying some stuff first, and then I'll talk about my tips on selling some stuff. So Billy's saying here too that Megan is the queen of Facebook Marketplace, LOL, selling machine. Yeah, I mean, it is something that if you really have stuff that you want to get rid of, it is awesome. And once you get the hang of it, once you start doing it, it is really, really awesome to use and utilize because it's free. And it's something that you can move really quickly on things and make extra cash. So as far as buying, I'm going to go in a little bit. I bought furniture, I bought chairs, and honestly, I am very trusting. So I have gone to people's houses if I feel comfortable. Sometimes you can meet people in parking lots. There's designated spots now for Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist pickups. There even are in some of like the Walmart parking lots, the Borough building in Hummelstown. And there's different spots that if you look up, there's great spots that you can meet people when you're buying if you don't feel safe to go to their home. And then also there's Sheets is a great place. It's very well lit. So I don't encourage anybody doing anything that they don't feel comfortable with and going to people's homes. Do a little bit of research when you are checking out the people that are selling items, making sure that it's somewhat legit. If it's super, super cheap, like a Yeti cooler that's on there for $50 when we know it's $300, it's a scam. That's a lot of times things that people are putting on there. Don't buy into that. But when it's things that you are familiar with or you can research, go ahead and just go onto Google and type in the product, see what it is selling for brand new retail, see what it's selling for used. So I'll go into a little bit about when I'm selling some of the shoes. No one's going to want to spend, or, I'm not going to want to buy something that I can go and buy brand new at the same price. So I see stuff because I shop at the dollar store sometimes for little tchotchke stuff and events and, little seasonal items and decorations. I saw somebody trying to sell something for $2, $3, and they had put it all together into something. Maybe, but it was from the dollar store. So if you know where stuff is from, obviously don't spend more than it's worth. But sometimes people do try to do that. So keep that in mind, that sometimes people are looking to make more on it. And if you are obviously familiar, just to have to do a little research when you're buying stuff. But I have bought things from the art that's in my office and my home. I bought from somebody selling Hershey pictures that were illustrations and or like just frames. The frames alone were probably $200 frames each. I got 5 of them. They were from a hotel in Hershey that switched over from either a Hampton into a Hilton or vice versa, and they were getting rid of them. It was somebody that worked there, and they just said that they were either they took them or they got them or they wanted to sell them. I got 5 of them for $50, so I got them for $10 each. They're huge. And like I said, the frames alone are probably $200 frames, but they were great pieces for my house here in Hershey. And I've gotten a lot of, more decor and more home decor, office things. I don't necessarily buy clothing or shoes personally, but I did buy a really cute crossbody. And, there are a lot of people shipping things all over the country. And you can also get stuff shipped to you. But, I would say that there's things that you just want to make sure that quality and the authenticity of things, especially if you're buying anything name brand and that is expensive, if you're going to do that and especially get it shipped. There are also, when you're doing local things and you're buying, don't be afraid to say that you want to look at something or, hey, can I try it on? I mean, if people are trying to move things very quickly, clothing, shoes, whatever, they're probably not going to feel okay with that. But if it's like a wedding dress and it's a couple $100s, they might actually say, yeah, sure, you can try it on. Again, I think you should feel out the level of comfortability that you have with the person and how you are. I have I've gotten just very comfortable. But like I said, I also have been very naive in the past, but I've had really good luck, and I've had no issues when I have been buying anything. The quality of everything has been it. However, the only thing I would say is that you want to check the size and ask the size. So I do this all the time, whether it's on Facebook Marketplace or it's even on something on Amazon sometimes. I don't look at the dimensions. So when I'm trying to buy something that is maybe a side table or something that I want to be a certain height, I had neglected to check the dimensions. So when I picked it up, it was a lot shorter and a lot smaller. In pictures, things look bigger. So as we say on film, you can look heavier or that. Sometimes things and the angles look a little different. So I had been very disappointed a couple times when I went to go pick up something, and I'm literally on someone's porch doing a porch pickup, and I'm like, wow, this is not at all what I thought and or the size. It happened with a lamp one time. I went to go pick up a lamp that actually looked exactly like another lamp that I had a set of. One of them broke, and I was trying to just basically buy something that was incredibly similar, if not almost identical, to replace the one that broke. And it was probably a higher, 2.5, 3 foot almost lamp. And when I got to the porch and it was like 10 o'clock at night, because I just did a late pickup, it was about 12 inches. So that's a big difference. Not that and it was my fault, and I apologized. Keep up the communication with the people that you are selling and buying from. If you change your mind, if you can't come, most of the time they will reschedule, maybe once. But this is something, like I said, a lot of people are trying to move things very quickly. And I even put on there no holds. And a lot of people do. It's something that, if it's $5-10, and they just want to move it, there's other people in line behind you. So when you're buying, you should really be considerate of those people and the people that are selling it. If they're holding it for you and they say they'll wait for the next day, some people don't care, and maybe there's not a lot of interest in it, so they'll hold it for you. But yeah, I would keep up the communication. I literally apologized immensely, and I just said, I'm so sorry. I thought this was way bigger. I didn't read the dimensions. Sometimes if there are not on there, you need to ask, because that was my issue with a couple other things. I assumed, I looked at it really quick, and I thought that it was a certain size. So, but yeah, I've had some really great things buying. If you've been in my home, or even in my office, my drapes are from Facebook Marketplace, and they're gorgeous. They're huge. They look very expensive, and I got a great deal on them, probably $20. And like the lady said, they were $150 drapes. So you can definitely get some really nice things, and you can make an offer. So if somebody, when you're buying something, if it is listed at 20, say, hey, will you take 15? Normally people will take it for the 15 if you come right away. So when I'm buying, if you are going to commit, you need to go. You need to either send somebody, you need to go and like commit and go and pick it up. So if they do Venmo or PayPal, that's great. I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people just say, no, we just want cash. And you can leave the cash there when you take it. And I always just say, hey, I picked it up. Thanks so much. Letting them know I put the money where they asked for it. So it's the same thing, like treat people the way you want to be treated. If you are selling items, you should be doing the same thing when you're buying them, and vice versa. So yeah, I've gotten some really great things on the buying side, and a lot of people have, everyone's different. Everyone has their different preferences and stuff, but I have really gotten some great stuff. So take a little wine here if you're watching and you have a wine with me. That's great. I'm usually less talking because Billy's doing half of the talking, or maybe, like a quarter, I'm doing 3/4. But at least when I have my beer, sometimes when we're doing it, I get a little bit more time to sip because I am not talking as much. But I will try to swig a little bit while we're taking a break, because you guys know I love my wine and my vino. Obviously, this is called Wine Not. Yeah, with Mel. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about selling because a lot of people think that when they're going to sell and list it, either it's too much work or they're really not sure what to do. It's a lot harder to sell something on there and list it and figure out the pricing, put the descriptions in. And obviously trust if you're doing porch pickup, people are coming to your home and whatnot, or meeting people, you're taking the time to go and meet them. It's a lot more work than just buying something, clicking, hey, I'm going to buy this, and go and pick it up. It's a lot more work to sell. So other thing I forgot too about when you are buying, actually this is a selling thing, so I'll wait for that. But recently, like I said, I've been doing a little bit of the Grant Cardone. We're doing a 10X challenge, and a lot of it is talking about not spending. Kevin O'Leary said it on Monday. Sharon Lechter, who is the co-author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, said it yesterday on Tuesday. Magic Johnson was the speaker today, and he even said it. So there's a lot to be said about not spending on stuff that you don't need. But what I feel too is trying to get a little extra cash, if you can, from some of the things that you don't need. And if anybody follows Gary Vee, and he talks a lot, he had gone to yard sales and he would buy things for $1 and he would sell it for $5. So if you ever hear him and how he was doing things, obviously his dad had companies, and they have wine, do wine companies and stuff. But he was actually going and buying things for cheap. And a lot of people still do that on Facebook Marketplace. A lot of people do that at the estate sales. So if you caught the podcast that Billy and I did with Joe from the estate sale company, people do that still today, where they buy things that they know the real value or how much they can make on it. And there is something to be said. I literally just made $100 this week selling stuff that I have not used, I don't want, and I don't need. So if there is any time this weekend that you want to go through closets, shoes, purses, hats, obviously clothes, but even stuff in your house, home decor, stuff that you're like, I don't want to look at that anymore. I've had that for years. Seasonal decor. After maybe before you put out your Halloween, right now, if you're going through tubs, what about the stuff that you don't want? What about stuff that you can get rid of? Right now, people are looking to buy Halloween decorations, fall decorations, Christmas decorations, things that are happening obviously weeks in advance and months in advance are good to sell now because people are looking for that stuff. I'm having a Halloween party. I'm obsessed with Halloween. I probably have way too much Halloween stuff. Actually, I do have way too much Halloween stuff, but a lot of it I bought on Facebook Marketplace, and I bought it cheap, and people were selling sets of things and decorations. And I said, I'm obsessed with Halloween. I'm going to have parties. Let me just buy a couple of these things. I buy them after the season's over, if you don't need it beforehand. So when it comes to selling stuff, there is a good time to do it if it's seasonal, if it's things that are coming up in fashion or weather related as well, not just holidays and seasons. So for example, I know I talk about like a lot of my quote boxes. I've talked about that. Got that for a couple bucks. I got this bag actually a couple years ago, and it's an express bag. I just pulled a couple things that were in my closet. It is, it's an express bag. It's got this cute little thing. It's a great size. It's all that. I think I got it for $15, and it was a maybe $90 bag. I didn't have a nice bigger bag and one that was a crossbody and something that I could wear with everything. Like I said, I don't usually buy clothes and or shoes on there. I kind of go more TJ Maxx and consignment, like thrift stores. But that was a really cool bag that I saw, and for that price, I thought it was a great deal, and I use it all the time. And yeah, that was a great buy. But speaking of things that you don't need or you don't use, so I was at my parents' house on Sunday. If you know, my sister had been diagnosed with MS. She was training for her first marathon, huge runner. She did the mud runs. She was into CrossFit, and she had just started to really run. Fitness was something that she became very fond of. She started running with my dad, and they were really bonding over that. And he needed a running buddy, and she ended up doing all the turkey trots, the St. Patty's runs, anyone that they could go to, she signed up for, and she made a lot of friends that way. But unfortunately, the MS was a misdiagnosis, and she has CNS lymphoma, and it was very late stage when we found it. And the rehab and the recovery and all that it started to go well, and then it didn't. So she has not been able to walk. She can't move, much of even her body. She's more bedridden. But she has a few sneakers that we keep at Homeland at the facility that she's at. So when she does go outside and when she does things, but we were together on Sunday, and, unfortunately we have an entire closet. She's been at Homeland for over a year, and there is, no chance that she'll be walking and running ever again. So we want to keep some of her sneakers for her that she would love to wear, and they were her favorite. And we decided that, maybe we could try to sell some of them and use that money to get her stuff for her room. So I did talk to her about some of the things that she would love to have, the colored string lights and, little light up LED things that we had for her before. I talked to her today, and I told her, I didn't tell her that I was going to sell her shoes, but she'll probably be very upset. But I think that she would know that, somebody else is going to be able to use them. And that's the other thing with Facebook Marketplace. These are all recycled items. So something that was either not worn, loved, somebody else can love at some point. So I would love to know that they're going to be in good hands as far as good feet and somebody that will be running with them. And I pulled these real quick. I just posted these yesterday. They are Under Armour, Hover brand, Hover SLK is the thing. I Googled it, $150 shoes. So, never worn also. So, I always take pictures when I'm selling, just so that, I take pictures of the side. I take pictures this way. I take pictures from the back. I show everyone. I'm going to be very transparent. As you know, we love transparency. So we want to show everything, because sometimes there are scuffs, stains, marks. You want to show that. You don't want people to be surprised and upset. I also show the inside that shows the size. So I take a picture right like that. So you want people to be able to see everything, that you don't have to explain anything. I don't want to have to spend time saying, when they say, well, what are the dimensions? So like me, when I don't ask for the dimensions, but if you give them all the information that they need, and if they do ask questions, you say, hey, it's in the listing. This is something that we're trying to move quickly on and sell and just make a quick buck. So with those, brand spanking new. And even on Poshmark and I don't know, it was another site that sells used items. They were about $75. So I listed them for $50, and it's a great deal. Brand new. They were never worn. I mean, they never have, there are shoes that she also has, 2 other shoes that are great condition, very expensive, over $100 sneakers, maybe wore once or twice. You can tell from the bottom of the shoe. So a lot of people are looking for something that is either, close to new, very, maybe just worn a couple times. And they, I think that it's a great deal for, obviously, that it's $100 less. Now, granted, the other thing that I would say when you are selling, is that you want to price to sell. So, with that, because other items were listed at 75 at the same shoe and they were same condition, I listed it at 50 because I want to try to people to choose me and buy it from me and just, get rid of it, sell it for her, and take that money obviously to, to use for something for her. That might have to go down a little bit. I don't know. I haven't sold any sneakers that were brand new and that expensive. I did sell a pair of Under Armour shoes. They were $49.99 at TJ Maxx, regularly $90. So they still had the tags for $49.99, and I think I sold them for $15 or $20. So there is a ratio to be said that obviously if you want to do, I think you're supposed to price it less than half of what the actual cost is for somebody to really jump on it and to move it quickly. I don't want these to be sitting around. I don't really have the space for them. I want to try to get, stuff sold for her. Then we can say, hey, we, had all these great, fun things. I posted a pair of tan booties, and I also posted 2. They're great for fall, so they're coming up. So somebody hopefully will want them. for $5. They were used, but they're in great condition. They're too small for me. And I also posted 2 wedges after the season, so after the summer. I have not worn either of these in probably 4 years, maybe 5. The one of them, brand new, I wore once. So they are a couple years old, but they are in great condition. And they're $5. So I posted them. My one of my best friends, Mo, she actually said, "Hey, I'd love to see these." So I posted the next one. She wanted the booties. I posted the wedges. She goes, "Might as well put them aside for me too, because I love them." So I have them aside for her. I'm waiting till tomorrow. She said, I know you have no holds, but I'd love to just come by, try them on. And she said, I'll take them both. So, it's people that you know, and it's people that obviously you don't know. Aside from some of those tips, what I always do when you're going through to sell, you want to put on there, obviously, as much information. Like I said, you want to price it to sell, but I always put no holds. So what that means typically is that, someone's going to say, "Oh, I'll come tomorrow." And then when they don't come, "Oh, I'll come tomorrow. Oh, I'll come tomorrow." And unfortunately, you have people in line that are saying, "Hey, I'll come today," and you want to stick, it's very polite and etiquette wise, to stick in line with who's asking first. Now, if they don't show up, hey, I move on to the next person. I'm pretty quick. I'm very honest with it. I say, "Look, no holds. Somebody else is going to come today. If they come, I'm sorry," and everyone understands. Nobody gets mad. I say it politely. I don't, I don't give them, a tood, but I've been doing it for many years where I have moved things very quickly. Some of the other stuff doesn't sell at all. I put it on there for weeks. Sometimes I forget about it. It's months. Sometimes I even take it to community aid and I forgot that it's still on Facebook Marketplace and I need to take it down. So as soon as somebody says they're interested and they're committed, you mark it pending. So you'll say mark pending. That means that, all the other people will know that it's not really available. If they do come, I mark it sold. Obviously, you want to say sold so that other people aren't doing it. Now, there's an option on there for shipping. When I know that I only want to do the stuff local pickup, I put local only. For local pickup, I put porch pickup only. And I say that very adamantly, I do not meet. So I'm very busy, as you guys know. And while I understand that some people will not want to do porch pickup because they would rather meet in a public space, which I always encourage, and that's okay. But for me, I price it a lot lower because I know that they have to come to me. So when people have asked, "Oh, it's a $5 item. Oh, will you bring it to will you meet in Carlisle?" Hell no. Like I'm in Hershey and it's $5. So I'm not meeting, even in Harrisburg. If somebody were to say, "I'm handicapped, I don't drive, I'm old, I'm this," I have in my travels, have once or twice actually, dropped it and either exchanged or whether they Venmo'd prior. I prefer to get the money first, but I understand that people, sometimes people don't want to spend the money if they don't see the product or everything. But I would not go out of my way when you're selling. If you don't feel comfortable meeting, I would not spend the gas either. If people really want something, they will come to you. And if you price it to sell and you put there, it's priced accordingly or price is firm, then most people, I have had no issues with doing porch pickup. And when I do that, I tell them to put the money under the mat or in the mailbox. I put the item on the porch. I sometimes put their name on it if there's multiple bags. And I have actually been at places where I've picked up where there's been totes, bags. People do this a lot and they have a tote outside and they put it in a tote so that it stays good in the weather. They have a couple bags in there and they staple their name or, anything on it. So, and they tell you where to put it. They even put I've put envelopes out for people with their name on it with the $5. However you want to do it. Most people are honest. Most people, I've never had a problem. I always want to see the good in people and, hope that everyone has a good soul. But when I am selling, I try to trust and talk back and forth with the person to understand, Do not talk to anybody that looks shady. There has been issues with men sending me stuff that I know right away. You can block them, and do not give your address to anybody that you know is not, reasonable. Check out their profile. Do not give them their address to do the porch pickup if you don't feel comfortable. And I do not give it to them until they are fully committed and they give me a time. So if they say, hey, I'll be there in the afternoon tomorrow, most people that are doing this are very quick with it. So they say, hey, this is when I can be there. I'll be, what's the address? Or you can say, message me on your way and I'll give you the address. So, it just depends on how comfortable you are. I live in a very safe neighborhood. I also have a Ring doorbell, so I can see everybody that approaches the door just in case. You can go back to Facebook. You can obviously have their information. You can, notify authorities if for whatever reason something were to happen, but I've never had anybody steal anything. I've always had people leave the money. But it's just a great way that I've been getting extra cash, and I wanted to share that a little bit with you guys. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. If you're hesitant, if you, want to share anything, also please post it under the comments. I am going to be bringing a lot more little tidbits and things that I like and enjoy, just like Billy does, whether it's work related, hobby related, and whether maybe we're just going to whine about things like we millennials yell about things together. So hopefully that gave a lot of people different information on how to do that. And maybe, you guys could get started this weekend selling some stuff. Be safe, please. And, let us know how it goes. Maybe you could end up even selling your crafts or something that you do on a side hustle. I have also seen that there's shops. I'm going to be starting to put made to keep items up there. Once things are linked from the website, I can actually sell my art prints, my invitations, and different apparel and things that I sell. You can actually sell that on the retail shop side of Facebook Marketplace. So if you have a business, sometimes you'll start to see some of the boutiques and some of the shops are actually selling in there. To me, it's a little, sometimes it's overdone because we are looking for things that are, used and yard saley. But for a business owner, it's free, and or maybe you have to spend a little, but you're right on their feed. So I get both sides of it. But yeah, so hopefully this was a great Wine Not Yell with Mel for the first time, Wine Wednesday. Billy, thanks for commenting, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.